Hello, this is Ilana Freeland. I am the author of several books on geoengineering. Here's one in Serbian, it's been translated. And here's another one in Dutch, and it's been translated. I love it when they're translated. I'm going to read you what I have written because I want to make sure that I get quite a bit into these 10 minutes. So bear with me, and you can always listen to it again. Geoengineering is basically a classified military-industrial intelligence operation that the climate change, or global warming, or carbon sequestering cover story has successfully hidden for more than 2 decades, thanks in large part to corporate control over media outlets. Climate change has been the perfect ruse for globalists set on global government and for globalists set on transforming nature's divine human 1.0 into a transhuman machine, human hybrid 2.0. Soon humanity will no longer experience life as nature-driven, but AI-driven, physically, mentally, and spiritually, replaced as the story of humanity and its long, intimate relationship with planet Earth is rewritten by ChatGPT. The present three-pronged epigenetic assault on the human immune system and blood began decades ago with genetically modified foods, whose colorful appearance belies their lack of nutrition, given that GMO seed is generally synthetic. Next came early childhood vaccination schedules that have increased logarithmically and now include adults. The third and most recent delivery system added to the present epigenetic assault is geoengineered chemtrails, loaded with big pharma chemicals, nanotechnology, and synthetic biology in service to transhumanism, all of which we are still breathing, eating, and drinking. As the High Frequency Active Auroral Research Project, HAARP, phased array antenna farm was being built in Gakona, Alaska in the 1990s, the series Combined Release and Radiation Effects Satellite was placed in an elliptical geosynchronous transfer orbit 22,236 miles up so as to release 24 canisters of chemicals to be ionized by the sun's ultraviolet light and create elongated plasma clouds along the magnetic field lines, the Birkeland currents, between Earth and Sun, to be followed up by massive chemical releases from 10 sounding rockets launched from Arecibo, Puerto Rico, and Kwajalein Atoll, home in the Marshall Islands of Lockheed Martin's Space Fence. These NASA U.S. Air Force payload releases into our magnetosphere and ionosphere space environment, described by the series press kit as a, quote, dynamic ocean of invisible magnetic and electrical fields and particles, set the stage for the chemical and electromagnetic assault on everything carbon and protein-based. Biologist Craig Venter, the first to transfect a natural cell with a synthetic chromosome, views biology as a, quote, digital magnetic wave, end quote. Thus it is that our Earth space is captured in the electromagnetic space fence above, around, and inside our bodies. This unified, digitized, artificial intelligence, exotic weapons system constitutes the bedrock of the military doctrine of full-spectrum dominance, subject to the secret space program. Human bodies and brains loaded with a quantum subatomic world of nanotechnology. That would be synthetic smart dust, synthetic bacteria, and, quote, viruses, end quote, nanosensors, microprocessors, etc. All are inhaled, ingested, and inoculated, responding to low Earth orbit and armed geostationary satellites, working in concert with jet heat pyrolysis in our ionized plasma atmosphere, filled with radio frequency and microwave pulses, calibrated and recalibrated to pulse synchronously via 5G and 6G with lasers, radio telescopes, particle accelerators, cell phones, microwave towers, over-the-horizon radar units, NEXRADs, wind farms, fracking liners, power lines, utilities, smart meters, and the Internet of Things, Internet of Bodies, Internet of Nano-Things, nanorobots in our bodies and brains. Little do people realize that the prefix nano, 1 nanometer, equals 1/1000th of a meter, is ushering in the tiny but powerful world of artificial, synthetic, inorganic life that leads directly to AI terms like meta and sentient world simulation and installation in our cells of self-assembling synthetic molecular machines composed of synthetic proteins in readiness for the transhuman era now underway, while geoengineering delivers more and more carbon nanotubes and nanometals for more and more autism for the young and Alzheimer's for the middle-aged. Up until 2020, the only synthetic biology the public had been informed about was encased in polymer filaments and incorrectly called morgellons, after a 17th century descriptor for a skin ailment. Scientist Clifford Carnicom discovered morgellons in 1999 in the wake of high-flying jets leaving long chemtrails, not contrails. Through saliva and blood tests, he discovered that this synthetic biology specimen was engineered and programmed to invade blood and devour its iron. Post-2020, Carnicom, doctors, and medical researchers are conducting live blood analysis and discovering that gene therapies, like mRNA, are loaded with nanotechnologies programmed to respond to 5G, 6G transmissions, self-assemble, and self-replicate in blood. To view the COVID crisis of 2020 to 2023 as simply a global fear distraction and profit motive during a WEF, UN, and WHO global takeover is not accurate. The COVID crisis actually introduced turnkey hardware and software into billions of human bodies and brains so as to speed up the abandonment of nature-based human 1.0 in favor of the singularity 2.0 transhuman model. The present devastation of Earth and real life is about everything eventually being synthetic and artificial to the point that all of the Earth and its natural inhabitants function as an interactive machine run by AI systems, utilizing what is left of organic life as their batteries. Is it possible that AI systems are already driving globalist decisions? Is there a possibility that, as David Icke puts it, an, quote, AI sentient invading alien force, end of quote, is behind not just the internet that transhumans are to inhabit, but brain-computer interface technology as well? Technologies per se look like dead metal with electric charge, but are they really as inert as the words dead and inorganic connote? Is technology being used against human beings and life? What is the nature of the nano things made of periodic table atoms, now being wirelessly delivered into the Earth biosphere, our bodies and brains? The truth is that we haven't a clue as to the actual nature of nanotechnology or synthetic biology, and yet both have been secretly delivered into the atmosphere and into everything alive, including human 1.0. Now that we are awakening to the fact that our experts have regularly lied to us, is there any way out of this? Rather than debating about whether gene drive inoculations are good or not, we should now be debating whether or not we will do what we can to defend our authentic human species. Do we not owe such an effort to future generations? And with that, I close, and I invite you to purchase the fourth geoengineering book coming out in February 2025. In there, I take on the task of looking at a way out of this. Thank you for listening.